Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Let's Play Oxygen Not Included. So, I think we might actually need to do something about this whole setup. I mean, we need to move those databanks over before we brick this place up completely, but we have so much carbon dioxide hanging around the base, specifically the sleeping quarters. We gotta do something about that. We might also need to do something about Ellie's stress levels. I'm not sure quite yet. Actually, you know what we can do? We can set up a massage table. That's what we need. A lead metal block, why not? No. But yeah, I'm going to set up a carbon skimmer just to deal with this overpressurized carbon dioxide. It also struck me that if I do end up plugging this hydrogen vent into the rest of the base, I'm very likely to see a lot of wires overload, so maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I need some sort of either a power transformer or a power shutoff. But that's not very important, that's just stuff they're going to be getting up to here. I decided to delay on setting up my scout rocket interior just a little bit. But what I did do is plan out the beginnings of my setup here, this massive industrial sink area. Because we're going to be building onto here, we're actually going to be perfectly fine. We don't have to worry about pumping in any coolant. We can just use what naturally occurs here. The downside is that we also have a bunch of paku here, so we've got to convince them to live somewhere else by moving their eggs. When we're finished with that, Dreklet egg is probably when we'll be seeing that happen. I also didn't finish setting up this whole place for two reasons. One is that I want to leave this area. I sort of want to build horizontally into these areas so that people don't end up blocking themselves up by building things we're not finished with yet. If I'm going to excavate the slime lung, as before, I need to set up a buddy bird farm to drown it out with floral scents. But also, I don't have enough gold amalgam to finish this. Whoops. So people gotta start digging that stuff up around here. The top of the world will happen eventually, just not anytime soon. So with all that said, we have the unfortunate point of we are probably going to have after the excitement of setting up this self-powered oxygen maker, which I am still bragging about, we've got a lot to... The game's gonna slow down a bit. I think one of the biggest risks is to expand too quickly for yourself to handle. Like, we made the mistake of expanding for this carbon dioxide, guys, and look what happened. Ellie's in an absolute right state. Nothing makes Ellie happier than a big tin of glitter and a pack of unicorn stickers. Someone get her the big tin of glitter and the pack of unicorn stickers, please! Okay, let's also sweep up some obsidian, get it out of this room. And now we have a massage clinic, something we didn't need to build on the previous area, but we're going to need it now. The salted food helps. Oh yes, that's going to be a slight extra power drain on the system. But it is going to give us a lot more polluted water, and hopefully that means we're going to see the bog bucket mutate a bit sooner. One problem that I've had in the past is just plugging the polluted water producers, that's the algae distiller or the sludge press, plugging them straight into the water recycling plant and running it past all of these pipes. You have to be ready to burn it. We need to build up a bit more polluted water quickly, but we also need to keep in mind that we don't want to produce too much that the system can't handle it. Balloon buddy! The space is overtaken with balloons. So you're just sitting at the 20% line. So here's the problem. Gas vents will overpressure, but it'll overpressure with element. So if we have just a little bit of carbon dioxide here, like 10 grams, then it'll continue to output oxygen even if it's causing the rest of it to overload, even if it's causing a lot of overpressure. Now the problem is that we have way too much carbon dioxide and too much oxygen in this place. So we absolutely need to start thinning it out. The excess amounts of carbon dioxide are overpressurizing the oxygen. On the upside, sleeping. And now the massage table is prepped, so we should be good here. Ship over a ton of plastics. Sure, why not? And then I guess we should send over some reed fibers. Not too many, just enough that they can build a painting of their own over there. We have so much berry sludge, it's not even funny. We also have the gold amalgam that we need, so set that up. But here's the thing. This massive cooling system, it's not just going to have one thermo aqua tuner running through it. It's going to have several. I think... At bare minimum, 2. So we need way more steel than we have, so we're going to have to smelt out this area a bit more. And if we're going to do that, might as well dig this up. Okay, we need 24 steel. That means we need about 17 iron, and we actually almost have all that iron, so we should get the extra iron that we need out of these guys along the way. So no need to smelt more iron. Oh, this cool slush geyser isn't having a very nice day though. something that I do want to have a look into investing into. I want to come up with automatic farms for berry sludge. Something else I might want to look into. Providing oxygen here, so I think... No, not like that. Build a gas valve, because that has the effects of a gas bridge. But it can only take in as... you can control how much that it diverts. So we can help these people out with their very low oxygen work environment. Every time. See, the setup that I look at for this cooling industry block, what they actually do is they build it a bit smaller than this, with just one steam turbine. And then once they get into the late game, they upgrade it to 2 steam turbines, increase the size of the oil tank, and increase the size of the coolant tank. Let's see. Building, cooking, tidying. Suit wearing and tidying. You might make a good... You'd make a good carrier, but I don't really need one of those. 2 stats I really hate. Anemic and flatulent. No. Give us fried mushrooms. I should point out that in space you can install solar panels to get extra energy. But there's one little catch with that. The catch is that aside from the fact that it varies based on time of day and the planet you're on, it also fights with rockets for space, for real estate, and I'm just not sure whether I want to fall in that trap yet. People also have these weird shine bug farms to absolutely overclock them, but I also don't want to deal with that. Okay, we should be able to start deconstructing this. Sleepy plug slugs. Shh. Okay, that has to be set to a 9 priority, clearly. And it's Liam's break because of course it is. So the goal with this carbon dioxide geyser. Usually I use these as a rudimentary carbon dioxide fueling station, but I'm eventually going to convert them into a beta apiary, which is a clever little design I like the look of. I didn't come up with it, but I like using it. But the thing is, we have these crashed satellites. The beta apiary is mostly just for turning carbon dioxide into radiation. And we don't need that because we have 3 sources of extremely high radiation. But for to learn it, it'll be a different story. We will actually need this because it needs its own source of rad bolts. Pip in a jet suit sticker. Why not? We are actually, we're almost on episode 60, and that would, we've almost reached cycle 200 in that time, so it looks like we're actually going to have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? It looks like each month is going to be roughly 100 cycles if I try to time it right. Okay. More airflow tiles because we don't want this hydrogen backing up and confusing the gas vents. We can get rid of this oxygen diffuser at least. And go back to copper. Balloons everywhere. Okay, we're at least making a... We aren't at risk of being completely choked out anymore. I'm not saying that it's non-existent, I'm just saying that we're slightly better off than we were a few moments ago. Let's tune down the brake. Let Ellie have more time off. I keep seeing this hydrogen vent and thinking, I really should do something about that, but I want to try and, I need to flood this, is all there is to it really. I also need to install some radiant piping here, so we might also need to smelt the rest of the cobalt. No more plastic, only reed fiber. Oh, everybody's jumping on this thing now. How much are you carrying? Okay, not too much. Turn the shipping off again. Remove all ingredients, allow manual use. What we just said is that we're going to ship over all our cobalt. Because we need to install some hyperconductive piping through here. We also need to install a mini liquid pump over here. And connect it with lead because why not? Right, that's why there's suddenly a higher power demand in the colony. It's because we have this algae distiller running non-stop. Okay, one bottle emptied here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh man, space has been working and I didn't even realize it because I was too busy focusing on everything else. Good job, Ashken. We have a new asteroid! Barkera. So, in the same way that the initial biome could be sandstone, or it could be swampy, or it could be muddy, it could also be a forest. This one is an irradiated forest asteroid. They have an abundance of metal for the taking if the duplicants can withstand the planet's radiation. This isn't honestly as bad as it sounds. So, the core of this planet is molten lava. So that's a lot of heat. The core of this planet is standard nothingness, but just slightly above it is the oil biome, so that's nice. The core of this planet is radioactive biome. It's full of uranium and it makes ice biomes look like a charming summer morning with how cold it gets in that place. It has a nat gas geyser. We have a nat gas geyser, which means that that's going to be its own personal power source. It has a saltwater geyser, which is nice. Usually they have gold and aluminium volcanoes, so finally we can get renewable refined metals. But the real prize here is this copper volcano. This isn't guaranteed, so this means that we also have renewable copper if we so want. Let's have a look. They also have oceans, which is nice because you're rarely going to see that on the first two planets. The main advantage of these, limestone. It has a little... I guess let's take a closer look at the... So, sand, salt and bleach stone abound in this unique briny biome. Pokeshell malt is an excellent source of lime, but care must be taken in domesticating this species, as it can get aggressive around its eggs. Harvesting waterweed provides lettuce for many high-tier foods. Any water will need to be filtered through the desalinator to remove salt from water, in order to be useful for our duplicants. Luckily, table salt can be produced using the rock crusher. When combined with the mess table, it gives my duplicants a morale boost. There's also plenty of fossil, so if you're in need of the good stuff, if you're in need of lime, that's an excellent source of it, but what we actually want to look for is the radioactive biome. A highly volatile environment containing highly useful resource. This biome is invaluable when venturing into nuclear technologies. Lead suits are imperative if my duplicants are going to start exploring this biome. Radioactive contaminants are a constant danger here. Betas pose a double threat as they are both highly radioactive and very aggressive. If domesticated, beta hives provide a great surface, turning uranium into enriched uranium. While the radioactive biome and the betas contained within it should be avoided at all costs if my duplicants do not have correct protection, my colony will need to trek into this dangerous biome if we are going to build higher tier nuclear technologies. So straight out, it's cold enough to turn chlorine gas into chlorine liquid, and sometimes into chlorine solid. Carbon dioxide sits in small frozen lumps on the ground. At the very least, it isn't going to mess up the oxygen. But most importantly, this is where we can finally start getting our uranium ore back again. We probably won't need it, we can just set up a Wheezewort radiation system for this, but it's good to know that it's there. But it's also a way that we can get our hands on these betas. Betas are insectoid creatures that enjoy a symbiotic relationship with the radioactive environment they thrive in, much like how honeybees gather the nectar and process it to honey. Beta turns uranium into enriched uranium through a complex process of isotope separation inside the beta hive. When first observing the beta's enrichment process, many scientists note with surprise just how more efficient the cooperative combination of insect and hive is, even when compared to the most advanced industrial processes. So an important footnote is that the industrial process for turning uranium into enriched uranium, we lose most of it in the process of using a centrifuge, but the beta saves 90% of the material. So yeah, if you want to go for advanced, if you want to make the most out of uranium ore, and I do, need to give it to the betas to work with rather than try and work it yourself. Now then, all that said, I should note that actually the forest, even though it says forested thing, it's going to be quite similar to the sandstone biome. The difference is that well, actually, no, it's going to be mostly forested. Yeah, that's the safe area to live in. We're going to eventually we're going to build rockets to go visit there and drop down a bunch of rovers to scout the place out for us. And I am going to have to think about how I want to build that area. That's something to tackle after we've finished working down here. Ironically, I would say that the whole shebang with accidentally releasing all of our oxygen into the lower areas is probably going to help us out over here. If we want to forcibly ship our oxygen one way or the other, then delete one of the branches and throw in a gas bridge. That's how you do it. I'm specifically not digging out this area yet because I want it to be a vacuum. And it's just easier to block this area off with the oil tanks before we go into there. That saves us a lot of time. I also need to keep in mind that I do like leaving these plants to their own devices, so what I usually do is to cool the water down to absolute sub-zero, but I might just leave it hot enough for the grub fruits and grubs to live in. Okay, I see these two wild friends are living happily. So now we need to start incubating these eggs. I see a tropical fry here and a fry here. Actually, maybe go for the... Let's see if we can get that one egg before it hatches. Only drop off the Paku and tropical fry. We don't want any gulp fry getting dropped off in this very warm pond. Oh dear. That was a mistake. No, stop doing that! Okay, plan B. This one can go wrong, but we have no choice. We're going to have to go for a manual sweeping storage bin to move them to somewhere else. And as we destroy more and more of these cots, more and more people will start moving down here. And I guess... Let's see if we can tune up the decor in this area just a tiny bit. Need to remember, Liam, your next skill point has to go towards art fundamentals. Oh dear, we're out of time for the episode now. So, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around. We should probably get this out of the way so it stops tricking it into overpressurizing.